Chapter 1. DeMarco, a 27-year-old aspiring actor, finds himself drawn into the world of high-end escorting after a chance encounter at a Hollywood party. Chapter 1. Welcome to the scene. DeMarco stood in the corner of the lavish Hollywood party, sipping on his champagne and soaking in the glitz and glamour around him. As a struggling actor, he often found himself at these star-studded events, hoping to make connections that could further his career. Little did he know that this particular party would change his life in ways he never imagined. As he scanned the room, his eyes landed on a strikingly handsome man who seemed to exude power and confidence. The man caught DeMarco's gaze and sauntered over, a charming smile playing on his lips. "Hello there," the man said in a smooth, seductive tone. "I couldn't help but notice you from across the room. My name is Damien." DeMarco felt a spark of attraction as Damien introduced himself, his heart quickening at the thought of the possibilities that lay ahead. Little did he know, Damien was a well-known figure in the high-end escorting world, a man with connections to some of the richest and most influential people in Hollywood. Over the course of the evening, Damien regaled DeMarco with tales of exotic trips, extravagant gifts, and luxurious lifestyles that seemed too good to be true. Intrigued by the allure of easy money and a taste of the high life, DeMarco found himself drawn deeper into Damien's world with each passing moment. Before he knew it, Damien was offering DeMarco a chance to join his elite circle of clients as an escort. Initially hesitant, DeMarco couldn't resist the temptation of fast cash and the allure of rubbing shoulders with the rich and famous. And so, with a mixture of excitement and apprehension, he took the first step into the world of high-end escorting. As the night drew to a close, Damien handed DeMarco a business card with a secretive smile. "Give me a call if you're interested," he said, his gaze lingering on DeMarco's lips. And with that, DeMarco's journey into the shady yet glamorous world of escorting began. Walking out of the party into the cool night air, DeMarco felt a rush of adrenaline and excitement coursing through his veins. Little did he know that his decision to take that business card would lead him down a path filled with lies, lust, and limousines. But for now, he was ready to embrace the unknown and see where this new adventure would take him. Chapter 2. DeMarco's affair with a wealthy, married politician becomes the talk of the town, leading to scandalous consequences. Chapter 2. Sugar, Secrets, and Scandals. DeMarco's affair with a wealthy, married politician had been going on for several months now. What started as a simple arrangement for companionship and intimacy had evolved into something much deeper and more complicated. DeMarco found himself drawn to the politician's charm, influence, and power, despite knowing the risks involved. The politician, who we'll call Senator Johnson for anonymity's sake, was a prominent figure in the political landscape. He was well respected, admired, and considered a family man by the public eye. However, behind closed doors, he had a different persona, one that craved excitement, passion, and escape from the pressures of his public image. Their secret meetings were filled with stolen moments of passion and desire. DeMarco was enamored by the thrill of it all, the forbidden nature of their relationship only adding to the allure. But as their affair continued, whispers and rumors began to circulate among the elite circles they moved in. It all came to a head one fateful evening at a high-profile charity event. DeMarco had accompanied Senator Johnson as his date, their chemistry undeniable to those who observed them. The tension in the air was palpable, gossip swirling around them like a whirlwind. As they mingled with other guests, DeMarco couldn't help but notice the glances and whispers directed their way. It was only a matter of time before someone would put the pieces together and expose their affair to the world. "I can't do this anymore," Senator Johnson whispered to DeMarco, his eyes filled with a mix of fear and longing. "What do you mean?" DeMarco asked, his heart racing at the thought of losing the man he had grown so attached to. "I mean, it's too risky. We can't keep living this lie. I have too much to lose," Senator Johnson replied, his voice tinged with regret. DeMarco felt a pang of sadness wash over him. He knew deep down that their affair was unsustainable, but the thought of losing Senator Johnson was devastating. "I understand," DeMarco said quietly, his voice barely above a whisper. "But what are we going to do?" Before Senator Johnson could reply, a familiar voice interrupted them. Well, what do we have here?" The voice belonged to Fiona, a socialite known for her love of drama and scandal. DeMarco felt his heart drop as Fiona's eyes bore into him and Senator Johnson, a knowing smirk playing on her lips. "I knew there was something going on between you two," Fiona said, her tone laced with delight. "The wealthy senator and his escort lover. What a scandal this will make." DeMarco's world shattered in that moment. The reality of their affair being exposed dawned on him with crushing force. He knew that their lives would never be the same again. As the night wore on, the whispers grew louder, the scandal unfolding before their eyes. DeMarco and Senator Johnson were thrust into the spotlight, their every move scrutinized and judged by a society hungry for gossip and intrigue. In the midst of it all, DeMarco couldn't help but wonder if their affair was worth the price they would pay. The consequences of their actions loomed large, threatening to destroy everything they had built together. But as he looked into Senator Johnson's eyes, a sense of resolve washed over him. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, come what may. The scandal had just begun, and DeMarco knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, betrayals, and heartache. But for now, he would hold on to the fleeting moments of passion and connection that had brought them together, knowing that their love would be tested like never before. Chapter 3. Rivalry heats up between DeMarco and another escort, Mateo, as they compete for a celebrity rapper client. Chapter 3. The House of Shade. DeMarco had always prided himself on being the top escort in town. His charm, wit, and undeniable good looks made him a favorite among his wealthy clientele. But when Mateo strutted onto the scene, all bets were off. Mateo was a force to be reckoned with. Tall, dark, and handsome, with a smile that could charm the pants off anyone literally. He exuded confidence and charisma, and it was clear from the start that he and DeMarco were going to clash. Their rivalry first ignited at a high-profile event where they both caught the eye of a celebrity rapper client. The rapper, known for his flashy lifestyle and penchant for beautiful companions, had his pick of the litter when it came to escorts. And DeMarco and Mateo were determined to be the chosen ones. As they vied for the rapper's attention, their competition quickly turned into a full-blown feud. Snide remarks were exchanged, shady glances were thrown, and the tension between them was palpable. But amidst the drama, there were moments of unexpected camaraderie. One night, as they both waited in the lobby of a swanky hotel for the rapper to arrive, DeMarco found himself engaged in a conversation with Mateo. "So, you think you're gonna win him over, huh?" Mateo quipped, a smirk playing on his lips. "I know I will," DeMarco shot back, his tone dripping with confidence. "I've got charm for days, unlike some people I know." Mateo laughed, a sound that was as smooth as silk. "Oh, please, charm can only get you so far. It takes more than that to keep a client coming back for more." DeMarco raised an eyebrow, intrigued by Mateo's veiled challenge. "And what, pray tell, does it take?" "Ah, that's the secret," Mateo replied, a twinkle in his eye. "But I guess you'll just have to wait and see, won't you?" Their banter was interrupted by the arrival of the rapper, and the competition resumed in full force. DeMarco and Mateo each tried to outdo the other, showcasing their best moves and dropping hints about their elusive talents. But as the night wore on, DeMarco couldn't help but notice a different side to Mateo. Beneath the bravado and the swagger, there was a vulnerability that tugged at his heartstrings. After the rapper bid them goodnight and disappeared into the hotel suite, Mateo let out a sigh and slumped down onto a nearby couch. "Tough crowd, huh?" DeMarco ventured, taking a seat beside him. Mateo nodded, his shoulders sagging. "Yeah, he's a tough one to crack." DeMarco studied him for a moment, a flicker of sympathy in his eyes. "You know, you're not half bad. Maybe we should team up sometime instead of fighting against each other all the time." Mateo's gaze snapped up to meet DeMarco's, surprise evident in his expression. "You really think we could work together?" DeMarco smiled, extending a hand to shake. "Why not? We both excel at what we do. Imagine the possibilities if we combined forces." Mateo hesitated for a moment before clasping DeMarco's hand in a firm shake. "All right, DeMarco, let's see what we can accomplish together." And with that, a new partnership was formed, one that would shake up the escorting world and take them both on a wild ride of competition, camaraderie, and unexpected alliances. But little did they know, the biggest twist of all was yet to come. Chapter 4. DeMarco wrestles with his feelings for a photographer named Eric while keeping his escorting life a secret. Chapter 4. Love or transaction. DeMarco had never expected to find himself in this predicament. Here he was, a successful high-end escort, caught in the throes of a whirlwind romance with a photographer named Eric. The more time he spent with Eric, the more he realized just how much he cared for him. But there was a problem. Eric knew nothing about DeMarco's secret life as an escort. DeMarco found himself wrestling with his emotions, torn between his growing affection for Eric and his need to keep his escorting life hidden. He knew that if Eric ever found out the truth, it would shatter their relationship into a million irreparable pieces. But the guilt of keeping such a significant part of his life a secret weighed heavily on DeMarco's conscience. One evening, as they sat together in a cozy cafe, sipping on lattes and sharing intimate conversation, DeMarco felt the weight of his lies pressing down on him like a ton of bricks. He knew he had to come clean, but the fear of losing Eric was paralyzing. "Eric," DeMarco began, his voice trembling slightly. "There's something I need to tell you." Eric looked up from his cup, his eyes filled with curiosity. "What is it, DeMarco? You know you can tell me anything." Taking a deep breath, DeMarco slowly revealed the truth about his life as an escort. He watched as a myriad of emotions flickered across Eric's face: shock, confusion, hurt. DeMarco braced himself for the inevitable rejection he was sure was coming. But to his surprise, Eric reached out and took his hand, his eyes filled with understanding. "DeMarco, I had no idea. I can't pretend to understand your world, but I can understand the struggle you must have faced. I care about you, no matter what you do for a living." DeMarco was overwhelmed with relief and gratitude. He had expected the worst, but Eric's unwavering support filled him with a sense of peace he hadn't felt in a long time. In that moment, DeMarco knew that his feelings for Eric were real, and he was willing to do whatever it took to make their relationship work. As they walked out of the cafe hand in hand, DeMarco felt a weight lift off his shoulders. He knew that navigating the complexities of his double life would still be a challenge, but with Eric by his side, he felt hopeful for the first time in a long time. Love had always seemed like a foreign concept to DeMarco, buried beneath layers of transactional encounters and empty promises. But with Eric, he realized that love was more than just a fleeting emotion, it was a choice, a commitment, a journey worth taking. And as they strolled down the street, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, DeMarco knew that he was ready to choose love, even if it meant letting go of the shadows that had defined his life for so long. Chapter 5. DeMarco's double life is exposed in a tabloid scandal, forcing him to make a difficult decision about his future. Chapter 5. Outed and over it. The sun was setting over the Los Angeles skyline as DeMarco sat in his luxurious high-rise apartment, staring blankly at the TV screen. The tabloid headline flashed across the screen: "Actor by day, escort by night, DeMarco's secret double life exposed." His heart sank as he watched the paparazzi swarm outside his building, cameras flashing and reporters shouting questions. How could this have happened? He had been so careful to keep his escorting business hidden from the public eye, always meeting clients in secret, using aliases, and never leaving a digital trail. But somehow, someone had managed to uncover his darkest secret and expose it to the world. DeMarco's phone buzzed with notifications as messages flooded in from friends, family, and even some of his high-profile clients. They all wanted answers, explanations, and assurances that their secrets would remain safe. DeMarco felt a lump form in his throat as he realized the magnitude of the scandal that was unfolding before his eyes. He stood up and paced back and forth, his mind racing with thoughts of what this would mean for his career, his reputation, and his future. Would he be blacklisted from Hollywood? Would his family disown him? Would he ever be able to live a normal life again after this public humiliation? A knock on the door startled DeMarco out of his thoughts. He hesitated before slowly walking over and opening it to reveal Eric, the sweet photographer he had been seeing for the past few weeks. Eric's face was a mixture of shock and concern as he stepped inside and enveloped DeMarco in a hug. "I saw the news," Eric whispered, his voice full of sympathy. "Are you okay?" DeMarco felt tears spring to his eyes as he leaned into Eric's embrace, finally allowing himself to let go of the facade he had been holding up for so long. "No, I'm not okay," he admitted, his voice cracking with emotion. "My life is falling apart, and I don't know how to pick up the pieces." Eric held him tighter, his presence a source of comfort in the midst of chaos. "You don't have to face this alone," he reassured DeMarco. "We'll get through this together, no matter what." DeMarco pulled away, his eyes searching Eric's for any sign of doubt or judgment. But all he found was unwavering support and love. In that moment, DeMarco knew what he had to do. Taking a deep breath, he made a decision that would change the course of his life forever. "I'm going to fight back," he declared, his voice firm and resolute. "I won't let this scandal define me or destroy everything I've worked so hard for." Eric nodded, a proud smile spreading across his face. "I'll be right by your side every step of the way," he promised, squeezing DeMarco's hand in solidarity. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows across the room, DeMarco felt a sense of newfound strength and determination coursing through his veins. He may have been outed and exposed to the harsh judgment of the world, but he refused to let that be the end of his story. With Eric's unwavering support and his own resilience guiding him, DeMarco was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And as he looked out at the city lights twinkling below, he knew that no matter what the future held, he would always have the love and courage to see him through. Chapter 6. DeMarco faces backlash from his clients and struggles to find his place in a world that now knows his secrets. Chapter 6. DeMarco faces backlash from his clients and struggles to find his place in a world that now knows his secrets. After the tabloid scandal exposed DeMarco's double life as a high-end escort, the fallout was swift and brutal. His clients, who once showered him with luxury and affection, now turned their backs on him, disgusted by his deceit and betrayal. The lavish lifestyle he had grown accustomed to was suddenly stripped away, leaving him feeling exposed and vulnerable. DeMarco tried to reach out to some of his former clients, hoping to salvage whatever relationships he could, but his calls went unanswered, his messages ignored. It was as if he had become invisible to the very people who once worshipped him. He felt like a pariah, an outcast in a world that had once embraced him with open arms. As he struggled to come to terms with his new reality, DeMarco found solace in the few friends who stood by him through it all. His best friend, Taylor, was a constant source of support, offering a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on during those dark and lonely nights. And Eric, the photographer he had fallen for, remained by his side, proving that love could survive even the harshest of revelations. But despite the love and support of his friends, DeMarco couldn't shake the feeling of shame and regret that weighed heavily on his shoulders. He had thought he could keep his secret life separate from his personal life, but now that the truth was out in the open, he realized just how naive he had been. He had hurt the people closest to him, betrayed their trust, and now he had to face the consequences. In a moment of clarity, DeMarco made a decision. He couldn't continue living a lie, hiding behind a facade of luxury and glamour. It was time to own up to his mistakes, to apologize to those he had hurt, and to find a way to move forward, no matter how difficult it may be. And so, with a heavy heart and a renewed sense of determination, DeMarco set out to rebuild his life from the ground up. He knew it wouldn't be easy, and the road ahead would be long and fraught with challenges. But he was ready to face whatever came his way, armed with the knowledge that he was strong enough to overcome his past and create a brighter future for himself. As he took his first tentative steps towards redemption, DeMarco knew that the journey ahead would be a rocky one. But with the support of his friends and the love of Eric by his side, he was determined to carve out a new path for himself, one that was built on honesty, integrity, and the courage to face his demons head-on. And as he ventured into this unknown territory, DeMarco knew that the road to redemption would be long, but the destination would be worth every painful step along the way. Chapter 7. DeMarco seeks redemption and tries to repair relationships damaged by his revelations. Chapter 7. DeMarco seeks redemption and tries to repair relationships damaged by his revelations. As the dust settled from the tabloid scandal that had exposed his double life, DeMarco found himself in a state of utter chaos. His phone constantly buzzed with messages from friends, family, and former clients, all wanting answers, explanations, or simply to hurl insults at him. It seemed like the walls were closing in on him, suffocating him with guilt and shame. But amidst the chaos, DeMarco knew that he needed to make things right. He couldn't continue to hide behind his secrets and lies, destroying relationships and hurting those who cared about him. So, with a heavy heart and a sense of determination, DeMarco set out to seek redemption and repair the damage he had caused. The first person he needed to face